Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. Hey, welcome back to 31 Days of Nintendo. We have finished the NES block, or classic block, and we're moving on to the System Wars block. We've got the Super Famicom and the Super Nintendo, classically trained still, as you know. But before we dive into the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo games, I also managed to pick up the reprint. Don't get too excited. The Club Nintendo version of Game & Watch Ball here. And, you know, it's a simple game, but hey, representing 1980 Nintendo. And, you know, this tiny thing, it's pretty cool. It's very simple. Actually, I slipped the battery thing back in there so it doesn't drain the battery life. Although it's pretty old. I think it was 2009 when they did the reprint. But yeah, you just got the guy in the middle of the screen there. And I didn't even tell you to pull the battery thing out there. Anyway. And sales sticker that we probably don't need. But yeah, all you do is you move left or right and you catch the balls, and there's an A and B mode, or game A, game B. And yeah, the ball lands in the hand and it moves to the other side, and it gets quicker and quicker until they get to two places at the same time and you can't reach both, and then it's game over. So that was a little bit of fun. Kind of quick distraction on a day before we had to get to the barbecue. And they don't have a manual so much as another poster. Fold out here, 4x3. So you can see that, and then yeah, there's a little bit more on the screen there. The B game does have 3 balls, so it's a little bit more challenging. But yeah, I thought I'd share that as part of the, well, heck, that would even be vintage Nintendo here for the Game & Watch Ball. But that was fun. And now moving on to the 16-bit era. And I probably mentioned this on the channel before, but I was debating between the Genesis and Sonic, and the Super Nintendo and Mario World. And my uncle said, well, Nintendo's the known entity, you know their quality, so why don't you stick with them? And that's what I decided. I don't think it was the wrong decision either way, but I'm sure I would have had great fun with the Genesis had I gotten that one. And probably a couple more games, because I would have had an extra $50. But anyway, same as the Nintendo, I saved up, got it on my birthday, was also given both of the launch titles in Pilot Wings and F-Zero. I'm pretty sure those were the only 3 that came out on that day. And I consider a launch title to be on launch date, not the launch window that people talk about nowadays. But launch day, as far as I know, there were 3 games. It was Mario World in the box, F-Zero, and Pilot Wings. And that's the first game, well, second game we're going to talk about today, but the first Super Nintendo game, Super Famicom game we're going to talk about today, Pilot Wings. And there's the front, there's the back. I love this game. I love the scaling, the Mode 7 graphics. And I played it last night. I sort of did not a speed run, but I was trying to rush to get to the helicopter mission, which gave me a big FU, as it always does, because, man, I mean, you were trained in the flight school here on 4 things. Of course, stage 1, you start off with the light plane, and you start off with skydiving, and it's very easy to land the skydiving and the plane. Well, not easy to land the skydiving, but there aren't many hazards to watch out for. So you start with that because it's the most difficult of the 2, and you get a decent score, and then you can just roll the light plane. If you get 90 or above, the pilot will start sweating and be like, oh my god, that was amazing. And yeah, so that's how I do stage 1. Stage 2, you can start off with skydiving or the rocket belt. For me, skydiving is, again, the most difficult, so I get that done, get that out of the way. Rocket belt, for me, is easy as shit. I almost always get over 90 points, and oftentimes will get I think I got 98 last night. It was something ridiculous. And that's without going for the moving platform, which is an extra 20 bonus points and brings you into the mini game where you can get even more flight points. But yeah, I just said screw it. I want to try and speedrun this, get to the helicopter, which gave me a big F you again. Hate that mission. Like, again, so you're trained in the 4 things. Rocket Belt comes in the second mission. Then light plane is dead easy. Yeah, then you go to stage 3 and they switch out the rocket belt for the hang glider, and that I think is the hardest one, apart from the stupid helicopter which controls like ass. But yeah, and you're being shot at, and like it's bad. I've never passed the helicopter mission, but the flying is easy. I mean, you know. Like, why don't they give you a plane? If they give me a plane, then maybe I could do the bombing runs and get out of there and speed up properly and do my maneuvers like I practice in every other game I've ever played. But, hang gliding, yeah, it sucks. Flare, they say you're coming in too fast, and then you do that, and then you drop, and if you don't land very well, then you lose points for that. But I get that done first, and then the skydiving, and then plane again is dead easy. And then you get to the 4th stage, and you have all 4. So I start with the hang glider. You're supposed to go up to 500 and then land in this very specific area, which kind of sucks. Skydiving, me. Rocket belt, again, awesome. The plane is a little bit more difficult this time. You need to get up to speed, take off, come back, fly under this extremely low arch, which is on the, I guess it's a floating platform, sea base or whatever, itself. And then you have to go out and sort of loop around, and they want you to follow this angle in down to land. And of course I was rushing that, so I didn't come in at the very tip of the angle, but it doesn't matter. That is not true at all. So it says Flight Area 1, you can get your A license, 2, B license, 3, silver license, 4, gold license. That's not true. You get the silver license if you pass the helicopter stage, I think. And the gold stage if you pass the night helicopter mission on, well, those aren't actually numbered, but the second helicopter mission after Area 8. And yeah, so I still have never done that. You can see the missions there, sort of, and your coaches or teachers or whatever. Yep, they're going over the plane here. And for me, the plane is dead easy. Like I said, I've played so many flight sims or flight games in my life. Then we go to skydiving, like we said. Yeah, and I mean, you're supposed to fall through rings, and some of them can just lean back or lean forward to get. Sometimes you actually have to move in the higher stages, but rocket belt, again, dead easy. And you can, if you keep it nice and hovered, the moving platform isn't difficult either. The hardest part, I think, is the inertia, because you'll get going one way, but your goal is like there, so you need to sort of vector here and split the difference. If you know what I'm saying, you got momentum this way, so you need to blast this way if your target's this way, so you can compensate and go through. Again, not too difficult. Hang glider, again, for me, that's the hardest one. Ugh. It's terrible. And there's the dreaded helicopter there. I mean, I think I might have been able to clear it. I had cleared enough guns to... Oh, wow! Somebody wrote... Somebody wrote some password notes in here. Hey, look at that. But, yeah. Yeah, expert. Yeah, 5, 6, 7. Apparently he never cleared 7. Or she. The previous owner. You can put your picture on the license. That's crazy. But yeah, Pilot Wings is always good fun. We even played it at game night one time, and you know, each of us have our various strengths, but I think we made it to stage 5 without the helicopter. I'm not sure, because you can always jump ahead. Anyway, that's Pilot Wings. Great game. Check it out. It should be on the Super Nintendo Classic here. Oh, look what we got. Boom. Yeah. Okay, I think we got a proper list. Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, Kirby's Dream Course, Kirby Superstar, Mega Man X, Street Fighter Mana, Star Fox, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Fighting, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, the real version, not the remake. And yeah, everything was super back in the day. Super Nintendo, super Castlevania 4. Everything had to be super. Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch Out, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, and what? Yoshi's Island. They seriously did not include Pilot Wings on this? I am offended. But, okay, check it out it's gotta be on Nintendo Online. But yeah, this thing has got rubber bands around the HDMI cable, don't need that. Second controller, which is good, I think the first one, and the previous owner, I guess, tossed the box, but for padding, put in a mail bag here. I can pull out the system here, which actually I didn't put away last year after 31 Days of Star Fox, so I'm looking forward to actually putting it away after I play Super Punch Out on this one. But yeah, so there's options to play these games, some of these games. Again, pretty much all of these are the big franchises and the big names from the Nintendo area, but we're focusing on the lesser known games here. We're also going to bust out the Super Scope 6, and as you can see, this is card only. I don't know if it came with a manual in the box or not. At least the one I opened up just now didn't. I also have that unboxing from years ago if you want to check out that video. But yeah, it involves, there are 6 games. What is it? There's side scrolling or just stationary, I'm not sure, where missiles fly in from the side and you have to shoot the missiles. Because there's an A game and a B game set or something like that. And there's one where the missiles fly directly at you, so that's pretty cool. Not remembering what the third one is. That's kind of like a base defense. They're all kind of like base defense there for the first set. And the second set, there's a Blastress A, Blastress B, and Mole Patrol or whatever it's called, which is really fun. So you shoot the blue ones and save the pink moles. That's the last game on the other side, or B side I guess you would call it. Blastress A or Blastress B. I don't remember the differences exactly, but you've got Tetris pieces coming in from the side, and you have to shoot where you want to get them to line up and then take the lines out. So, I mean, it's really good fun. 6 games in one for, it was $60, including the bazooka or a shotgun. It looks like the shotgun from Halo 4, but I think they called it a bazooka. Anyway, the Super Scope is good fun. You should check it out if you get the chance. Next, another Super Scope game. We've got Space Bazooka. Hey, it said bazooka, which is actually Battle Clash. Now, I think it was 10 Star. Actually, there are a few games that use the Super Scope, but 10 Star, which was never released in Japan. Metal Combat Falcon's Revenge, the sequel to this, which was also never released in Japan. Don't know if we got the back there. And a few others. I think Terminator, the port of the arcade game, also uses the Super Scope, and a few others. So it'll be cool to bust this out. I don't know if I'll actually have time to play this version because we've got half a month left, and we're only in the Super Nintendo block, so not much time. Again, they're highlighting the first robot. It's pretty easy. He's got some nice shoulder pads. You hit the glowy areas, and that's how you damage the robot. One in the chest there, as you can see. I'm not sure if I've actually beaten this game, but again, I don't know if I'll be able to get to it. You know, this would be a very interesting series for Nintendo to bring back. They could keep part of the game like this, where you can use the Joy-Cons as pointers and shoot the lit areas, so maintain that. Or they can bring it into like a mech fighting game or shooting game genre like Virtual On or something. That would be very interesting to see happen. And hopefully we can get a Future of Nintendo video recorded here at the end of the game. There's your ST Falcon. That's the mech you're controlling. So that's pretty cool. And there's the Super Scope. Tells you what to do. So again, the cursor lets you choose items in this game. Pause button, power switch, fire button, and if you hold the button it charges up the shot, or if you don't press the button it charges up the shot. One of those two. So yeah, you can do a little bit more damage here, and of course you want to adjust your aim, which we'll find out if that works with the angle I've got in there and the space, because I think you're supposed to be 6 feet away. Although I would imagine, because the Super Famicom, the Super Nintendo cables for the controller were actually 6 feet. Here, I think they're only 3 feet or maybe 1 meter, so they're really short. That's probably my one complaint about the Super Famicom controllers. And I think one time I even bought a controller, took it home, disassembled it, swapped it with the inside, so I could actually have a 6-foot Super Famicom controller, but I think that's back home. You can see you got the player health meter, the enemy life meter, the time it takes to beat them. I think it's saying game over, so I think that's when your gauge is depleted. It might also be when it's time up. If you reach 10 minutes and you don't beat it, I think you lose. Don't quote me on that. Battle game. I think this may have also had a 2-player option, but of course only having one Super Scope. Was it 2-player alternating or two? It had to be 2-player alternating. Okay, so there are your items. Bomb, homing laser, V system. I think that might fill your HP. Plasma bomb, shield, and cursor. So that might be an auto lock or something. Whoa. Butterfingers. Totally sober too. Okay, and there are the enemy mechs, I guess, with their pilots. Whoa. Garom, piloted by Guido. Scarab, piloted by Iknaton. Okay, so those look pretty cool. Lorica, piloted by Lorca. No, Lorca. Artemis, piloted by Tasha. And Schneider, okay. Oh, and Ivan. Schneider, piloted by Alfred. Ivan, piloted by Antonov. I'm pretty sure I made it all the way there. Again, I don't know if I've beaten the boss, but I know I fought at least 1 or 2 of those. Valius, piloted by Eddie, and Baron, piloted by Carlos. So, yeah, I think you've got a couple of lives, so you've got replacement mechs. But, fun stuff. Again, hopefully I can get to it, but if not, then oh well, because got a lot of systems and a lot of games to play. Just 2 more here to talk about, and I guess we are moving into kind of second party territory, although Nintendo's actually acquired them, because I think Las Vegas Dream here, which you may know as Vegas Stakes, which is one of our SNES Super Famicom mouse games here. I think this was developed by HAL, which of course Nintendo has bought, although this says Imagineer on the back. Okay, well, never mind that. It's Imagineer, but published... Oh, yeah, HAL Laboratory. So, what? It's published by Nintendo, developed by HAL. Anyway, now they're first party, but they were second party. But yeah, Las Vegas Dream, Vegas Stakes. What's it? Yeah, 5 games. Roulette, poker, craps. That's where I learned how to play craps, actually. Blackjack and slot machines. But I think slot machines are totally random in person, so it's got to be even more random in a video game, right? There's the manual. You get the back with a US. Oh, that's also... Oh, no, it continues. Okay, so you can have almost an entire US dollar there. And that's pretty cool. They got red diamonds and black diamonds there on the table of contents. How to use the controller and the mouse, so that's cool. A little brief introduction to each of the casino games here. And I think your goal is to get $1 million, and then you move on to... Now there's the different modes. Vegas Adventure, Multiplayer, Party Mode. But yeah, you get $1 million and you can move up to the higher level casino, and then you get $10 million and you beat the game. So what you can do is get some money, save, place a huge bet. If you fail, just reload, save. Very unlike real life. But load it up again, place a huge bet, boom. Keep doing that over and over until you get the money you need, and then credits will roll. Save and continue. Yep, with some chips and some money there at the table. That's cool. Introduction to the casinos. Okay, so you got the Hideaway, Golden Paradise, Buffalo Head 2020, and the Laurel Palace. And of course it tells you can place different bets from like $100 to $1,000 here, $20 to $250, up to $100,000 here at the different casinos. And I forget what the big one is called. And then finally it goes into each of the individual games with some specific rules. Double down, split there, blackjack, slot machines, roulette. Okay, and it lists the odds here. Never tell me the odds. But what is it? A straight bet. So it's 35 to 1 for any one of the individual squares, I think, is what they're getting at. Black is 1 to 1, red is 1 to 1. Although with the 0 and double 0 thrown in there, it's actually slightly less than 50%. But who's gonna quibble about that very much? And then craps. Wow, this takes at least 4 pages here of rules. It is pretty complex, but pretty fun. And poker got 1, 2 pages, and then an introduction to each of the types of hands you can have. So that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to playing that. What else we got? We got, again, plug safety, and then an ITC survey card. But, so that's pretty cool. Vegas Stakes, again, that's not on the Classic, so I don't know how you're going to play that now unless you have a Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, or something. But Vegas Stakes, Las Vegas Dream, very fun. I like it. And the final game we're going to talk about for this segment, and I know it seems like there's fewer games than the Nintendo or NES Famicom video last week, but I mean, there's just so many IPs created in the 80s But you've got the Super FX chip here in Stunt Race FX, or Wild Tracks as they call it in Japan. And it's very sad. I bought this with a massive sticker on the front, and I cleaned it off real nice, shined it up, turned it sideways, and no. But after I cleaned it up, then the wheels started clicking, and I realized that it was a sticker that said it was a promotion release or preview copy or something, or review copy. And then I got really sad because I had already destroyed the sticker. But yeah, anyway, it's fun. You can play as the car, or the F1 car, the car, or the monster truck to start. The truck is involved in bonus games. You can see them on the back. And oh, they even show the motorbike there. But yeah, like Star Fox, it uses the FX chip. And it's really fun as a racer here. Boom. Huh, did Pilot Wings not come with one of these, or what? Or maybe they hadn't thought of those at the time? I don't know. But this has a controller mini insert, which you'll see in a lot of Super Famicom and N64 games. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Got the manual here. Again, no different. Again, how to play. You got speed tracks, stunt tracks, battle tracks, and free tracks. How to play here, very colorful. But yeah, I mean, I really like this game, and this was actually, I guess, a reward. I had to have my wisdom teeth removed, and was in serious pain. So I thought, or Mom thought I could get my mind off of it, so she picked this up for me, and it kind of worked with the painkillers. Yeah, coupe or coupe F-type. There's the two-wheel drive bike and the trailer. The trailer is hard to control, but fun to use. There in the mini games. And yeah, you got novice courses. It got course 1, course 2, bonus game, course 3, course 4. Expert is the same, master is the same, and I think there's one more level on top of that, but I don't remember. It's a very colorful game. Again, the graphics aren't going to be too much to look at, but the speed is good. You know, it's another racer because they had F-Zero and then they had Mario Kart so long before. It's like, well, when's Nintendo ever going to come out with another racer here? And finally, Stunt Race FX Wild Tracks here came out. I was like, yes! And got my hands on it and played the crap out of it. What I don't like, it has a counter here, so that's kind of not cool. Like the Sega arcade games where the timer runs out, usually before you get to the checkpoint, which always pissed me off. At least give somebody a chance to, without being an expert level, give somebody a chance to make it to the checkpoint. Like, if you screw up, you know, you screw up, that's your own fault, and you know better. But if you're just driving along normal, and it's like you don't reach the checkpoint because you didn't play like a master, they're just trying to steal your money. Bonus game explains you're trying to drive through the gates for points. I think if you get enough points, you get an extra life. Something like that. I mean, again, I tested this out. It's been a minute. Stunt tracks, it's been too long. I don't really remember how that functions. Maybe you can remind me in the comments, or I'll just play it the other day. And I think Battle Tracks was a 2-player. Is it just a race? It might just be a straight up head-to-head race here. But yeah, free tracks. That's got to be like time trial and practice and stuff like that. But anyway, yep, Stunt Race FX is not going to close us out. I have one more game I haven't talked about. Okay, it goes through some of the courses here. Easy Ride, Aqua Tunnel, yep, Sunset Valley, and Night Owl, okay. King's Forest, Sea Breeze, Whiteland Night Cruise, boom. So good stuff. And then the stunt tracks is there. Tracks is. I'll roll with it. It was an X. Stunt tracks, wild tracks. Yeah. So stunt race FX, good stuff. Looking forward to popping that back in. And finally, we read it earlier. And no, I managed to beat everybody except Super Macho Man. Well, okay, quick story on that. So I kind of sucked the first round against Piston Honda in the World Circuit. During my last attempt, I'm like, okay, I'll just let it ride and kill me. But then I ended up knocking him out after I had continued twice. So we're riding 2 losses. And then I just go on a roll. And I beat everybody straight through, including Mr. Sandman. So, you know, it's my first time. That was the second attempt on Sandman. And then I see Super Macho Man for the first time. And it's like, well, okay. I wish I'd had those lives back now. But, yeah, so he beat me. And I challenged Tyson a couple times. And he just whomped my ass. But, a game I know I can beat here on the SNES Classic, actually that's in the bag, is Super Punch-Out! And I won't be able to play all of them because they're Super Punch-Out Arcade, but I did play Arcade at Mikado last week, and of course Punch-Out, so play Super Punch-Out here, and then I'll think about the Wii. That'll probably be another video too. But yeah, Super Punch-Out is great. Characters are bigger, it's got a better system, more like the original arcade where you have the Super Punch, which is its own button. But that, I didn't seem to be able to throw, you know, jabs. It was either body blows or the Super Punch in the arcade, so that was weird. But the controls are a lot better here on the Super Nintendo. And it was only released on like BS Satellaview, I think it was. So you could download it from the internet, but it was never released retail in Japan. So that was a little bit irritating, but we got it on this, so no worries there. And yeah, it's just fun. All the characters are fun. They sort of pulled from the original arcade game, they pulled from the sequel in the arcade, and put all the characters together, and it's really fun to play, really cool. Bear Hugger was fun, Gabby J, I think he beat Glass Joe, or Glass Joe beat him. Or there's a theory that one of them beat Nick Bruiser in the final fight, in his final fight of his career, but to get their one win, which makes no sense to me, because people love to theorize on the internet. Go figure. Anyway, the game is cool. Again, you build up the meter, you do the super punches or super hooks, and you can do them slow or quick for power, or, I mean, they're increased power, but they're stronger than your regular moves. And, yeah, I beat it at game night, and I think, well, some of the Nintendo Power published scores, I beat their speeds, their times, and, yeah, I beat it at game night, and the friends are saying, how did you beat that so quick? I'm like, I don't know, I'm just beating the game, because it's good. If you counter punch, then you can just rail them, and the game is awesome. I love it. So yeah, looking forward to playing Super Punch-Out here on the Super Nintendo Classic. But yeah, I know there's stuff I missed, like Super Famicom Wars, and what is it, Metal Slayer Glory, I think might have been another release. And there's one, or it's a Teleview only. But yeah, let me know in the comments. You know, not the main series, because obviously Nintendo pumps them out all the time. The Zeldas, the Marios, the Kirby's, you know, and they're great games. But let me know some of the lesser known games here for the Super Nintendo, Super Famicom that you enjoy in the comments. And thanks for watching, as always. Until next time, keep dancing.